On Monday, the White House plans to unveil a sweeping executive order on artificial intelligence. It marks the federal government's latest step towards regulating AI. We spoke with Duke professor of computer science and AI scholar and researcher Cynthia Rudin. She says this executive order will likely not tackle some of her greatest concerns about the technology.
My wish list starts with biometric technologies. I really think that we should regulate access to large biometric data sets because I don't think anybody should be able to clone your voice and make it sound like you are saying things that you don't. I'm also very concerned about facial recognition technology being used by people who do not know how to use it, and they can use it to control people. They use it to control access to things.
The timing is interesting here. This order will come 2 days before government leaders, Silicon Valley executives, and others gather in Britain for a world summit about the potential risks of AI. Joining us now from the nation's capital is Tiedrich, a legal and ethical tech expert with Duke University. Thank you so much for being here with us tonight.
My pleasure, Ashley. Thank you for having me.
The Washington Post is reporting that President Biden's executive order will try to keep tech workers in the U.S. and more notably regulate how federal entities use AI.
Yes.
How hard is it to regulate AI?
It's very hard because the technology right now has evolved so much faster than the laws, and the laws are struggling to catch up. So, part of it is policymakers need to learn about how the technology works, and the technology keeps moving so quickly. So, for example, a year ago, when we were focusing on AI regulation and Europe has been out ahead of us, people weren't really focused on ChatGPT. So now the laws and regulations are trying to catch up to the technology. So it's finding a pathway that has regulations that can endure, but also are flexible enough to adapt to new technological developments, which inevitably are going to happen.
Right, and happen rapidly.
Yes.
Given your expertise in both law and ethics, I'm curious to get your take on how important you think it is that we do regulate AI.
I think it's important. I mean, I think at the 64,000 foot level, AI has a lot of benefits. A lot of my work through Global Partnership on AI, through the OECD, AI has the potential to help expand healthcare. It has the potential to help us address the climate crisis. So we want to be able to capitalize on the benefits. But like as Dr. Rudin pointed out, if we keep AI unchecked, there's also a lot of harms and risks. So I think it is important for governments to come up with frameworks that enable society to capitalize on those benefits and prevent some of the risks. Like, for example, using voice cloning technology in a way that violates somebody's rights or is deceptive or leads to illegal behavior.
Really quick, we just have a couple of seconds left, but I just am curious to know what you think. Will there just be a ton of legal precedents, landmark cases, all these court battles that are going to come out of this?
No, I think what we're going to see initially, courts are slow. So I think what we're going to see initially is the government's going to exercise its power of the purse. When it buys AI from companies through the government contracting process, the suppliers are going to have to comply with certain requirements, and there'll be technical requirements, and that will have a trickle-down effect through the economy because it's the prime contractors to the government, it's people all the way down the supply chain, and then even people who aren't supplying to the government, those standards will set norms that other companies will adopt to. So I think that's what we're going to see in the short run. We're already seeing a lot of legal cases. Courts tend to be slow. I think those will continue, but hopefully with some of these measures in line, we'll address some of the harms and there'll be less litigation.
Tiedrich, thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure.